A warm welcome to all of you and a heartfelt namaste. I, Anuradha Sharda, would like to thank all of you for watching our channel, writing in your comments and your suggestions. Today we have with us Chandrasekhar Sharma ji. Sir, a warm welcome to you.
My pleasure.
So, we have been learning Gemini astrology from Sir for quite some time, and this is the 15th lecture that we are associating with Sir, and it's been quite a journey. So, before we start on with Gemini once again, Sir, a definition of Swamsha, because generally people who have not seen our previous videos
Yeah.
often tend to ask this question:
Yeah.
what is Swamsha?
Swansha primarily is, see, Swansha can be interpreted in many ways. But the way the great Sitaram Jha and others have thought, even Achyutananda Jha, there were many, great people who translated it, rather decodified the sutra. Sutras are difficult to interpret. One
Right.
must understand that. About that, maybe in the last sutra, I will talk something about that. So, Swamsha is the Navamsha Rashi. That is why, so you have to go to the Navamsha Chakra, the D9 as they call it. Whichever Navamsha is occupied by the Chara Atmakara, the variable Atmakara. The planet which has transited the most degree in a Rashi is called the Chara Atmakara. That is called the Swamsha. Now there is a confusion between Karakansha and Swamsha, and some think they are one and the same. Some like me also think that perhaps that Navamsha Rashi, which is occupied in the Navamsha, that is the D9, should be taken to the D1,
D1.
and that is the Karakansha.
Okay.
So my simple theory is look at things from all the three. The Chara Atmakarak wherever he is, because that is
Right.
anyway in the D9, even
Right.
in D1, and the Rashi occupied, the Navamsha Rashi that is occupied in whichever bhava in the natal chart should also be looked at when we are talking about these principles. I mean, that is the safe way out. Of course, we must also look at the chart in a holistic manner. Because Gemini is not a standalone system as is always propagated, because you will find at many places you will not find anything about it. And because Gemini himself says, Upadesham Vyakhyasa. Now I am defining something. What follows? That is why he doesn't talk about the Rashi aspects. People think that he only talks about Rashi Dashas, that is
Fallacy. Because, huh.
not exactly the right way of putting it, because he says Ududaya Siddha. Many times he says the rest of the things you see from the old
Other
the Acharya, rather the ones who were even
have.
than that, like Parashara, Lomash, Marichi, and so many. Many of the texts are not available. So let us be very clear about it. And so we are here also looking at position of certain planets from the Swamsha. That is wherever the you have to look in the naturally in the D9, but we should also look in D1, etc. for the same places, because you will understand why when we talk about it. So here the sutra is Mrityu Chintayo Pape Karshaka. Karshaka means an agriculturist.
Hmm.
Karshan is to, draw the plow over the earth, and you cultivate it. So it is called a karshan. Karshan. So karshaka, one who does that, that is the agriculturist. And mrityu chintayoho pape. Pape is malefics, very easy to understand. Mrityu chintayo has to be decodified using the Katapayadi system, which was said to have been brought in by Varusi. Prior to that, I don't know whether it was there. It is there, but in a different context. In, I think, Aryabhatta's mathematics tome, but it is in a very different context. So
Okay.
here, Mrityu Chintayoho means Mrityu, when you decode by using the principles of Katapayadi, that is three.
Hmm.
So the third bhava and
So,
the third bhava. From where? From Swamsha.
Swamsha.
Because we have already covered other things, and Sutra is a thread which runs continuously through something.
Hmm.
the Swansho Grahanam is the way the chapter starts. And there are some breakages where the bhavas will change. The distance
Right.
from Swamshar remains basic reference point, let us put it that way. So, and Chinta means six. So, what is being said is if in the sixth or the third Rashi or Bhava, whichever you call it, because Parashar doesn't distinguish between the two, if malefics are there,
Hmm.
then that person can be an
An
agriculture.
agriculturist.
I will put it that means one who puts in a lot of
Effort or
efforts,
hard work.
even bodily efforts, hard efforts, would be a Karshaka in the true sense of the word. But generally, Karshaka is supposed to be an agriculturist.
Hmm.
Why in the third and the sixth bhava must always arise in our mind? We see one is the Parakrama,
Hmm.
the valor, the malefics which have energy. Benefics have intellect. Intellect has to express something in energy and of course this is not the place for that. That is subject for a larger canvas of astrology, let us say. And sixth house is again house of hard work. It is a house of relatives, no doubt. It is also a house of diseases, disputes, and everything else. But it is also hard place of your
House of
job
hard work. Yes, sir.
or your hard work. It is hard
Right.
work that is being therefore, even otherwise, you would know that 3, 6, and 11, if malefics are there, they are supposed to be good. But here he is very specific. From Chara Atma Karak, his placement is the Navamsha Chakra. Look to the third bhava. If there are malefics there,
Hmm.
or if they are malefics in the sixth house, preferably perhaps in both the houses, then
Hmm.
that person is likely to be Karshaka. Why I am saying likely would be obvious when we come to the next.
Next. Sir, just before we move ahead, one question I'd like to ask is they are talking
Yeah.
about Karshak. That means a person who's an agriculturist. What he actually means is somebody who's willing, ready, able to put in a lot of hard work. So, in today's context,
Yes.
can we say that
Yes.
such a person would has the ability to do anything that requires a lot of hard work?
Yeah, absolutely. It has to do with the hard work. That is what I was doing nowadays. See, I mean, just basic statistics can tell us that there would be so many people having similar yogas
Right,
because
sir.
we have got only 9 planets and see, and there are more malefics than the benefics. Only two full-time benefics, rest are malefics. Some are,
Hmm.
of course, part-time malefics like Moon and
Mercury.
Mercury. So Mercury, which malefic is a malefic? Moon, when in the dark part of the fortnight, when actually he is less than half visible, then he becomes a malefic.
Right, sir.
So this refers to Karshan. Karshan can be anything which requires perhaps some part of even bodily efforts happens, which is wherever you are also to exert your physique. I mean,
Right,
your
sir.
bodily efforts have to be there. They need not always be
Right.
only mental effort, like somebody who is a priest. You will say that he also has mental bodily efforts. No, but they are on a lesser scale. So
Right.
we have to understand anybody who works hard, very hard, would be indicated by this. What would be the results is naturally he would gain something from it.
Right.
Because what happens with an agriculturist, he puts in one seed, gets 100 seeds. Isn't
Hmm.
it?
Hmm.
To put in that one seed, he has to work hard. He has to plow the
Field.
soil first, and then, yeah, then seed it. Then once it grows, then he has to remove those weeds and then harvest and then store. So we understand somebody who puts in lot of work, lot of planning also. Because
Right,
agriculture
sir.
is based on knowing when something is to be done, doing things at the
Yes.
right time. Because if you sow when there is not going to be any rain, especially in India, then your crop is going to go bad. So we have to understand a lot of planning is there, lot of efforts are there. Maybe teamwork is also there because some, I mean, so look at it like this. is my. However, as far as Jaimini says, yeah, it is only agriculture. My own view I have also expressed so that there should not be any confusion. I am
Well,
not greater than Jaimini, but I think, yeah, even the great Jaimini wanted us to think logically,
yes,
and this is my logic.
right, sir.
So then I said कि this is generally why, because then he says if Samay Guru Visheshena, again Sama is to be decrypted, it comes to 9. I think in earlier lectures I have explained how the
Yes,
decryption
sir,
is.
we have done that also. Yes, Karatapayadi system, we have done it very well.
Yeah, so Samay Guru Visheshena, if simultaneously Jupiter is in the ninth house, then he will certainly be an agriculturist, is what is being said.
Okay.
Because ultimately we can understand if we look at it not from the point of view of only mm, the Swamsha, that is the Rashi occupied by the Charakaraka in the Navamsha, but as a chart as a whole, because that is another
Way.
reference point. As the ascendant is a reference point, this is another reference point which is given
Yes.
by the sage Gemini. Then we can understand what happens. This Jupiter will be aspecting the fifth house,
Right.
which is learning from your experiences,
Huh.
acquired knowledge, isn't
Hmm.
it? And anyway, he is occupying the house of your duties,
Hmm.
and though it will harm it to some extent, not much, and so so you acquire knowledge of when the rains are going to come, when some pest is going to attack the
So
crop,
you
how to be
become more
prepared, how to
wise.
save it.
Yeah.
All this the acquired knowledge, when it is added to the hard work, then it can be a good agriculturist. Let us put it this way. Or whosoever
Right, sir.
works hard, and we also know that Guru, that is Jupiter, is called the Dhanada, one who gives wealth.
Wealth. Yes.
Simultaneously, from the ninth house, he would also be aspecting the
The
Lagna, the
third house.
ascendant. So
Yes,
that
sir.
person must have good body, healthy
Yes.
body, hopefully.
Hmm.
Isn't it? So all these things together can make him a good agriculturist, is what is being said. It can also mean somebody working in IT field, like if I may say, it is a bit rude, like working like a dog. Staying up late in the night and going through everything. I would even put him into and then trying to solve the problems.
Right.
That could
Because
be one
that's
of
the
the things. But
wisdom
he
that
should
one
be a
can.
solution provider, then he might also come under this same Karshan,
Right, sir.
is the way I would look at it.
Right, sir.
So now we move to the next one, which is Ucche Shubhe Shubhaloka. Ucha, when we decode it, it becomes 12. Now 12 is the 12th bhava. From where? From the Swamsha again. So
Hmm.
the Rashi occupied by the Chara Atmakaraka in the Navamsha chart.
Hmm.
Of course, we can look at it in the similar way in the D1 and even from the Karakamsha, that is the Rashi which is holding the Chara Atmakaraka in Navamsha, take it to the your uh, D1, and from there also you can see it. It
Right.
says in such cases, Shubha Loka is when we are no longer alive, then our, at least Hindus think that their soul doesn't get destroyed. It goes to some place
Right.
till it is reborn again.
Okay.
And it can go to good place or bad place depending upon your karma.
Right.
And how the God has decided to give you results of bad karmas first or good karmas first. So here what is being talked about is Ucche Shubha Shubhalokaha. If benefics are in the 12th from the Swamsha, then after death, this guy's soul or girl's soul, because otherwise I will be accused of being sexist or whatever, but boy and girl and everything is one and the same for me. So that soul, because soul has no sex, it goes to a good place. Which good place they are not talking about, and that is normal, because ultimately it is God who decides what sort of loka is to be given. But the idea is, if in the 12th house there is a benefic, then after death this soul will go to a good place.
Hmm.
Why? Look at the 12th house. It is house of it is from bed pleasures to jail to your uh,
Ashram.
expenditure to your being connected with the Almighty. So all these things is defined by the 12th house.
Right,
If
sir.
there are benefits there, obviously whatever he does will be for good purpose. And if you do good, hopefully after you are no longer here, you
You
will go
go
to
to a
some
good
good
place.
abode, as they call it. So abode which is good. Then the next one comes. And here we have to understand sutras perhaps more in depth, and different people have interpreted it in different manner. I am giving my interpretation. I could be wrong or right. And this part cannot be checked because we can't go in the next life of a Jataka to confirm whether this happens or not. But the
Right.
logic we have to understand. He says, Keto Kaivalyam, because Ketu is generally treated to be a malefic.
Hmm.
But here, exception is there. If you remember, in earlier one also, there
You
was
had said, yes, Ketu
there
as
was
the yes, in the
Vipratam Ketu, isn't it? So Vipratam Ketu has always to be understood. And if Ketu happens to be in the 12th from this function, I would say even in the all those other charts that we talked about, I don't repeat it, then this person will get the final emancipation.
hmm.
Kaivalya is more or less like getting merged with the Almighty from whose very minute part is our soul. So, or whatever, or final emancipation. So, this guy doesn't have to get born again,
Right,
which is supposed to be the ideal thing for at least Hindus,
right,
isn't it? Otherwise,
right.
everybody who dies is born again. That is what Lord Krishna tells Arjuna in
Yes,
the Bhagavad Gita. I am sure all of you being astrologers would be well versed with it better than me, but that is what he says. And he doesn't talk about Kaivalyam. He says, yes, you go somewhere and then perhaps come back.
yes. That's in
And
the
he says,
eight.
I am
Yes,
also born many a times.
times.
That is
Yes.
what he tells Arjuna.
Yada
But,
yada dharmasya.
but what is emancipation is that perhaps your account is even. I mean, your bad and good have cancelled each other out, and so you come with a new slate, a clean slate. That must be the idea behind it. But I don't want to get much into the religious part of it. That is not my domain.
Right, sir.
Now comes what I was talking about, that how the sutras should be interconnected, though they are read separately. Kriya Chapayor Visheshanam. Now, this Kriya Chapayor Visheshena has been interpreted in different ways by different commentators. And they all are great people, I mean, much more worthier than me, but I'll just try to explain what they have said and then what I think. Some have taken Kriya means Aries Rashi in Sanskrit.
Right.
Chapa means Sagittarius Rashi again in Sanskrit. So some have said that this happens specially Keto Kaivalyam. What happens specially? Keto Kaivalyam. This is a thread.
Right.
Ube Shubha Lokaha Keto Kaivalyam. Kriya Chapayor Visheshena. If this Ketu is placed in Aries or in Chapa, that is Sagittarius, then this will almost certainly happen. But
Okay.
what I feel is, if we remember, I think at the end of the first pada, the first lecture, we were told Sarvatra Savarna Bhava Rashayascha. That means this Katapayadi is to be applied wherever Bhava or Rashis are mentioned.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if Rashi is mentioned, then this has to be decrypted in the Katapayadi manner, which will mean Pisces and Cancer.
Okay.
So that 12th from Swangsha ought to be Pisces or Cancer. And Ketu should occupy that for you to get the
Final emancipation.
the emancipation certainly. Visheshana means specifically, more specifically, which means certainly. So this is how we have to always understand that these sutras are connected with each other. There is also a saying that when a sutra doesn't say anything, go back to the other sutra and
For
draw the logic
a
from.
reference, right?
And that is what I am doing. I could have given that shloka, but
Yes,
it
sir.
becomes too much. Yeah, but yeah, there is a system to it, and that is why Kirecha. And now look at what is happening. We know that the moksha trikona is formed by, in the natural zodiac, 12,
Yes.
4, and 8.
8. Yes.
8 is death and rebirth.
Yeah, resurrection.
It is
Yes.
end of something. Yeah. That is why it is Ayush Sthan, it is also Mrityu Sthan.
Right.
You get birth there, you die also.
Right.
I mean, when birth is not there, you die and you again are reborn there.
Right.
So this is a place of reborn. So what is the moksha? Karka, that is cancer. And obviously
Which
that
me.
is the Pisces,
Right.
which is a stage before we come into being.
Me. Yes.
So whatever loka is there is represented by the 12th bhava, isn't it? So this is my interpretation. If I am wrong, the mistake or blame is mine. Uh,
Right.
and so I want to always explain my logic behind whatever I have said. I
Right.
could be. And then he goes on to say, to close everything, papair anyathaha. This all happen if malefics do not aspect.
Hmm.
So influence of other planets has always to be remembered. I have seen, I mean, now I am pretty old, but in my long life, I have seen what happens is people take yogas, lift them out, and think that the yogas are operating in isolation. They do not.
Hmm.
And that is what is, reiterated here. And this we must remember. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I have seen many a times, ki, okay, Ketu is in the 12th and he will get even, it will not happen. Okay. Because there might be some malefic aspect in there.
Yeah.
Or his ninth house might be damaged, or the eighth house might have something. So all these things have to be considered. And if we do this, then Gemini can be used fruitfully, I would say.
Right. So.
Fruitfully.
It's
So
been a very beautiful lecture where we have also revisited the past lectures of Katapayadhi and the last few chapters. Very beautiful on how to interpret the Navamsha also. So if you have not watched the last um, few lectures, please do watch it. And there are a lot of videos on Sir's channel also. Please don't forget to watch those videos or read his blogs. Till we meet with you again, sir. It's been a pleasurable journey. Thank you,
it was very kind.
sir.